Hey everyone, it's Candace Renee, and welcome back to my channel, Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience. I want to thank you for taking the time to go ahead and come on back and continue to receive my content. I know when I first started this journey, I was feeling nervous about how my content was going to be received, right? Is anyone even going to be interested in it? And I couldn't kind of figure out exactly what my niche was going to be. But then I realized, as I always do, I can create something. Just kind of pay attention in regards to what other people do and expand on it. Do something that's different. And so I decided I would create something such as my niche is considered teaching people how to navigate a world and spaces that's not directly created for equitable success. Not really short and sweet like motivation, um, spiritual and or DIY, but you get the point. So I'm going to teach you your history and show you how to appropriately get some skin in the game. So let's get into it. Last week, I did an interview and discussed the topic of the respectability complex, where my guest Jessica, a mother of two, graciously came and shared her experiences, gave advice, and encouraged us to understand our history, as well as why we should continue and should be proud of where we came from. She spoke vulnerably about how certain topics that were discussed in regards to trauma were not discussed with her mom, and or understanding where and why certain values came from. Jessica spoke passionately about the importance of identity and learning to understand the importance of not passing down trauma. Keyword, trauma. She adamantly expressed the steps that she's using to dismantle this mindset so that it does not directly negatively impact her daughters and or create a systematic complex within them. It's important to know that this complex is seen in modern workplaces as well as in the psyche of Black men and Black women. Today, I'm going to be talking about a subject that many of us have suffered from, yet unfortunately, due to not understanding its meaning and or the full extent of its toll, we typically don't discuss. I'll be discussing the topic of scarcity thinking. So let's talk about it. That quiet voice that says only one of us can make it, or that mindset that if I help them shine, there will be less light for me. This is called scarcity thinking, also known as a scarcity mindset. Thank you, Cousin Reby. She made sure I knew how to say this correctly. It's the belief that there is not enough resources, opportunities, love, money, etc. to go around. In Black workspaces, as well as communities, scarcity mindset and or thinking can manifest in a number of subtle and systematic ways, often shaped by historical and present-day inequalities. So I'm going to give you a few examples. So in the workplace, this can be gatekeeping among Black professionals, limited risk-taking, as well as internalized tokenism. In community spaces, this can be distrust amongst Black-owned businesses, nonprofit competition, mentorship hoarding, colorism and class division, as well as policing of authenticity. For many Black professionals, this is not just a mindset, it's survival conditioning. So take a second, think about it. How many people have you seen ascend within your company? We've been told directly and indirectly that diversity is a quota, not a right. We've watched others be punished for being too vocal or too ambitious. So we learn to play it safe. We learn to compete, and this competition we do directly with each other. So here's the truth. Scarcity is a lie. It's a system-built mindset to keep us disconnected, distracted, independent. So scarcity behaviors don't come from nowhere. They're literally deeply rooted. It's deeply rooted in regards to our historical exclusion from wealth-building opportunities, our underrepresentation in leadership, our generational trauma and survival-based strategies, and systematic racism in economic, educational, and corporate systems. So how does scarcity show up? Well, it can manifest in unique and complex ways, both within our community as well as within the workplace, especially when influenced by historical and social factors. As I mentioned before, this mindset comes from systematic oppression. Scarcity thinking can be both a reaction to and a result of generational and systematic oppression. So let me give you a little bit more clarity in regards to how this shows up. So let's focus in regards to competing over limited spots. It's the belief that there's only room for one of us, maybe two. It's a complex and/or mentality that focuses on that metaphorical saying of being crabs in a barrel. That's where that came from. Feeling like a person's success is a zero-sum game, where one person's win is another person's loss. Another example would be the distrust of institutions and each other, such as, oh no, I don't buy black owned. They don't have enough experience. They ain't been here long enough. That kind of mindset. So scarcity can erode trust. For example, if I don't look out for me, who else gonna do it? Another example is limited risk taking, so prioritizing survival over long-term growth. Taking safe jobs instead of entrepreneurial risk. A fear of failure due to fewer perceived second chances. Something that directly affects people within corporate. Overcompensation or hyper-individualism. The pressure of being twice as good with half the resources, leading to burnout. Internalized pressure due to not asking for help. So we're going to do a quick review. I've talked about the subject of the respectability complex, which is the belief that only one certain type of blackness will be respected and or accepted in white dominated spaces. I also talked about the policing of each other's language, behaviors, and appearance to gain proximity to safety and opportunity. We have to stop this mindset in regards to scarcity thinking in order for us to progress. So I'm going to talk about the shift. And more specifically, I mean shifting from the scarcity thinking to the thinking of abundance and what thriving looks like. So thriving means moving from there's not enough to there's more than enough. And guess what? For all of us. Addressing scarcity thinking isn't just about the mindset. It's about changing systems and creating safe, equitable environments. So strategies to do so include collective uplift. So if I rise, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to help others to rise. Mentorship and sponsorship within the community. Having an equity mindset leadership that expands opportunities, not to just diversify stats. And creating a healing space for addressing intergenerational trauma and cultural resilience. This shift also looks like speaking someone's name in a room when there's a space for opportunity. Collaborating with other Black people, your people, instead of competing. And mentoring, as I'm trying my best to do, mentoring young Black professionals, even if you yourself are still rising. Remember, when one of us get through the door, that metaphorical door, it's not our job just to walk through and let that door close behind us. It's your responsibility to hold it open. Because guess what? That's not charity. That's legacy. So I'm going to go ahead and keep on drilling this topic in your head, and how better so to do so by giving you a quote by someone that you know. And I'm going to do it for two people. So in regards to holding the door open, Toni Morrison said the whole point of getting somewhere is to leave the door open behind you for somebody else. Let that kind of sink in a little bit. And the beautiful Michelle Obama said, when you get to your seat at that table, you don't pull up the ladder behind you. You extend it down and pull others up with you. So I leave you with this final thought. My grandmother taught me that the Lord blesses a cheerful giver. I always thought that meant in regards to paying those tithes, that 10% that, the pastor be asking for. But anyways, I've come to the realization that that's not necessarily what she meant. She meant be cheerful in regards to giving knowledge, giving help, giving love, giving advice, showing up, and be cheerful in each space that you're within. The scarcity mindset might have been taught to you. It was taught to me, but it doesn't have to define you because it definitely does not define me. The truth in the matter is that we thrive when we show up for each other because our success is not in silos. If we are considered one rose, us together, we're a complete garden. So from Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience with Candace Renee, I thank you so much. I am so appreciative. I keep seeing my numbers go up, so I'm seeing that people are sharing it around, and I'm really, really, really excited. I am so humbled that like every time I look up, like my numbers are going up. I don't care if it's going up by one person. I had a streak where it went up by like 6 people. I was so excited. But I'm happy that people are taking the time to understand my content, understand my passion behind this. I mean, literally, like I said, this is and has been my brainchild of my pain to passion. I want to take the time to say also that I resonate with each of these topics that I create because I've lived them. Each part of these, as painful as each of them have been, I have truly lived them. And I will tell you, even in regards to scarcity thinking, this specific topic and or this mindset, I've lived it on both ends. But I am here to say that humbly, I am where I am because I've had people open the door for me. I've literally been able to open the door for others. I have people who I haven't even talked to for years call me and tell me, thank you so much for saying what you said because this is what I do now. And it is truly humbling. I'm going to leave y'all with this statement. There is so much room at the table. And if it ain't no room at that table, build another one. As you can see on here, I have my different platforms where you can in fact follow me, as well as my email. Please take the time to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like my content and want to keep on hearing me. Next week, I'll be going over the topic that so many people have actually been sending me messages about, which is colorism and texturism in the office. I have already created my content for it, and I do have a guest that's going to be coming on to sit here and talk about it. And I'm just going to pray that I can do it justice because it probably will be one of my longer videos because I'm definitely going to dive deep into this topic. So from Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience, thank you so much and be blessed.